Amen.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I just want the microphone. Morning. I just want the microphone. Morning. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This world is getting so cold. I wanna keep running like a soldier. Somebody must have touched my soul, 'cause there ain't no stopping till it's over. I wanna get up out my chair, 'cause everybody's getting so lazy. Don't want nobody touch my hair, 'cause a lot of sisters acting too crazy. And them not tough like this, rough like this, and them not nice like this. Some can't take it when you talk true sense. Rather hear the words that glorify nonsense. Yes, and I got my brains, and I'm pretty like my mama. I don't wanna pick your brains, I just want the microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I wanna share my put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. and this is Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. The countdown is on to Christmas as we head towards Saturday, Christmas Day. However, it's just Tuesday the 21st of December 2021. I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Rhea Richardson George. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning to Caribbean. Good morning, those of you viewing us on the live. Good morning, Trinidad. Remember, viewers, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning, Julian. I know the countdown is on to Christmas, and I think you just had to. I mean, I was getting so excited, and then you just had to drag me back.
I had to pull it back. Before the excitement ran away with me, just a bit.
I tell you.
Rhea, this morning, a lot of things that would have happened over the weekend we didn't even get a chance to touch on. One of which I really want to highlight is special recognition to our young persons in the Tobago space. Over the weekend, we would have had the airing of the 2021 Tobago Youth Awards, recognizing youth excellence within the Tobago space. And I dare say our young people really stood out in the various avenues, whether agriculture, media, youth service, youth leader, etc. But particularly in this year, the Mount St. George Police Youth Club really stood out, taking awards in terms of individual awards as well as group awards. And you know, I really want to take the opportunity to extend sincere commendation to the Mount St. George Police Youth Club. In fact, you know, I said I wanted to make sure and highlight the specifics. They took the most outstanding youth organization, most effective youth project. Members also took Youth Triumph Award went to Miss Shaquan Allen, member of Mount St. George Police Youth Club. Health and Wellness, Miss Shanika Belfon. Youth Service, Miss Alana Allen. Youth Leader, Miss Alana Allen. And Youth Mentor Officer Larry Brathwaite. So, you know, really excellent. They're all members of the Mount St. George Police Youth Club, really standing out. I suppose 2021 was their time.
All right. Well, Julian, congratulations going out to them and to all the other young persons who would have stood out for the awards. Now, another thing that happened over the weekend, in fact, yeah, we live in Tobago, Scarborough. Let's talk a little bit here about the issue of the police doing what they need to do. This is Christmas season. Julian, the business community in Scarborough has been locked down, in Tobago rather, has been locked down for a number of months. As you know, we recently opened last year, in fact, last August, after having been shut down for a few months. But this is December. We are 4 days away from Christmas. The police came out in their numbers on Friday and were removing vehicles parked alongside Castry Street. Castry Street is a one-way street from around Unit Trust Corner all the way downtown. One-way street. But removing vehicles that were parked there, and preventing others from parking. Now that is a hit to the business community. I am passionate about this because there is a family business on that end of that end of Tobago. Now I'm saying here, why not make it allow cars to park on one and allow the traffic to flow on one. When they do this, it is making it difficult for customers to come by. I'm talking here, Charlotte Street gets a blight. Charlotte Street, Trinidad, Port of Spain gets a blight for Christmas.
I was on Henry Street late last week and the cars are parked. That's normal.
You understand what I'm saying? High Street, San
streets.
Fernando gets a blight for Christmas. What happened to Tobago? Can anyone speak on behalf of Tobago? I mean, have we gone so far away that we cannot think of others? And I'm really passionate about this, and I'm calling on the police authorities in Tobago to do something about it. We have a few days, and yet, after removing all of these vehicles, a police vehicle pulls up because they want roti by the roti shop. Don't get me started.
Wow, that's amazing, Ria. You know, in true Tobago style, you know, I would call him by his official title, but I prefer to say we're calling out the big word man. That's what somebody referred to him as in terms of Mr. Nurse there at the head of the operations in Tobago. After giving us that sense, we're calling on you. We want you to respond to this because it's particularly important.
Definitely.
It's important to the business community how we respond, as well as to those of us going to seek services, because quite frankly, if I'm not going to be able to get a park anywhere wrong or close enough,
you're not going to go.
I'm really just going to pass by. So we really want to encourage and trust that the police can make some kind of effort to be a little accommodating, especially within this time, because I know we've seen the police service be accommodating in other areas and with other circumstances.
Definitely.
So we're really pleading there this morning in terms of, you know, being a little more accommodating with regards to the situation there for our business community. We would have also had over the course of the weekend the Prime Minister's announcement, Ria, that spoke to a number of areas, the beaches reopening, as well as what appears to be heading in the direction very much of a law, but doing it, I suppose, constructively, now focusing on the public service in terms of creating safe zones within the public service and therefore speaking to public officers, state bodies, etc. And, you know, to get a perspective on that, in our first segment this morning, we will have Barry Nelson, political activist and concerned citizen, speaking to mandatory vaccination for public servants. And if you don't know Barry, in the Tobago space, space as that public servant willing to speak out, but some way seems to always be able to keep his job, then something is wrong. So we look forward to having Barry Nelson in our first segment this morning. And then who else are we going to hear from?
Just before you go there, Julian, the president of the Tobago Business Chamber, Martin George, is also is standing in agreement with the Prime Minister's statement or Prime Minister's declaration. But Mr. George is also going a little bit further in terms of asking as well that even persons accessing these government agencies also be vaccinated. So it's not just a question of pushing for public servants, all public servants to be vaccinated, but as well, if you're going to these establishments, that you also present your vaccination card.
Yes. And then following Barry Nelson, we will also have the Honorable Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, specifically this morning responding to the 211 staff salaries issue, and that would have come up yesterday, as a matter of fact, and we will be having a response from the Honorable Chief Secretary Farley Augustine in relation to that matter at hand. And certainly, Ria, he is holding to that mandate to make every effort to respond to things real time. So we look forward to that segment with the Honorable Chief Secretary this morning, Farley Augustine.
And coming up just after, we're going to have Candace Jackson chatting with Alex Ned. And the issue here of the beaches being reopened, but how opened are they really to accommodate the tourism sector and those who rely on the beaches for their, well, to ply their trade?
And who do we close with this morning, Ria, in the lineup?
Yes, we are closing this morning with Rihanna Guy, the owner of Sweet Thang. You got to say with some attitude. Sweet Thang. All right, so it's about Sweet Thangs on the program with Rihanna Guy. And I'm anticipating, Julian, food on set. I don't know about you, I'm anticipating food on set. It's guiding us this week.
I will certainly go with Ria's cue this morning. So we want to shout out morning to Katie, good morning to Chanel, good morning to Latoya, Kyuki, Travis, all of you all joining us on the live this morning. We want to thank you for the continued love and support. I see Anton coming in the mix. Morning to you as well. All right, folks, so we just want to remind you, continue to share the live.
We've got a quick birthday greeting, a quick birthday greeting. Janelle Gray celebrating her birthday today. I cannot let the time pass. And Anton Alexander celebrated his birthday yesterday. Lots of love going out to you guys. I love you.
Folks, that's how we do it. Only on Tobago Updates morning show. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
The Grinch has gone greener. In TNT, we love to lime and laugh a lot, but our waste hurts the earth, and that has got to stop. Good thing for those going greener, stepping up to save the day. Everyday heroes in their own way. You too can show you care. Recycle aluminum, plastic, glass, and Tetra Paks with iCare. Gather up the empties. Take them to your nearest iCare spot. They're all across the country. Check iCare TT and let's clean up. Help clear our drains and landfills. Stop the flood. So simple to do good. Recycle now with iCare. Let's all do our part. Show Sweet TNT we love you with all of our heart. Visit iCare TT for more info.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Talk, watch, and listen to win big this Christmas with a Digicel Prime Bundle. The more you watch, cheer, and dance to your favorite Digicel apps, the more chances you have to win thousands of Shake to Win prizes. Enter Enter to win grand prizes of $100,000, home appliances, and groceries valued at $50,000 or free Digicel services for a year. Visit My Digicel or dial *323# to buy a Prime bundle today and talk, watch, listen to win big with Digicel. Better together this Christmas.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning,
Morning, Tobago. This is the Tobago Updates morning show. We're saying a special good morning to all of you joining us across in Trinidad, throughout the region, connecting with us here on the Tobago Updates morning show. Good morning to each and every one of you. Yes, Tiny, Anton, Latoya, Joel, Michael, Ricardo, Elizabeth, Myrna, Ria, Cindy, we see all of you on the live. Good morning and thank you for joining us. Remember to share the live. Viewers, in this segment this morning, we are chatting with Barry Nelson. And Barry Nelson is a political activist and concerned citizen. And this morning we are speaking to mandatory vaccination for public servants. Barry, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Joel. How are you, man?
Fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Well, we know you have at times a very busy schedule between Trinidad and Tobago by virtue of duties. All right, but we're very happy to have you on this morning.
Thank you very much.
So we're starting the conversation. Barry, just give us a little sense of how long have you been in the public service? What does your experience span?
Well, I've been in public service for 37 years now.
Right.
Yeah,
so certainly we're speaking from a point and a perspective of experience.
Yes, to some extent.
All right. So today we're chatting about mandatory vaccination for public servants. We would have seen on Saturday where the Prime Minister would have gotten to that point where he made the announcement that public offices, specifically state entities and so on, now moving them in the direction of becoming safe zones, which automatically means that those who execute the duties and so by way of employment with the state are now required to be vaccinated in order to function. And he has gone further to give us what is considered to be a week off, which comes from Friday during that period up to the New Year's before offices reopen, and then he has given until mid-January. I want to get your take on that in the first instance. What was your immediate reaction as somebody who operated, you understand very much the public service regulations, etc. What was your immediate reaction when you heard that announcement on Saturday?
Julian, before I answer that question, I'll need to put certain things in perspective. And when I say that, right. When you become a public servant or a public officer, public servant / public officer, and I will come back to that after, you become the state's property, meaning that you are there to work for the government of the day and also the public, for the public. Right. That is where the public servant. But then I will move across to the public officer, while sometimes you use it interchangeable. Now, when you are a servant of the state, meaning the government of the day and the public that you serve, you fall into things that you may be treated badly. Although you are working for them, sometimes you may be treated badly. So that is why you have a union. So if you have the opinion that you are treated badly, then you have somebody there to stand up for you if you are. So this is why there is the public servant, and therefore, because back in slavery, when you were a servant, you didn't have no rights. The plantation manager treat you how you want. But slavery have been abolished, and we people have rights and so forth. So this is where the union is there to bargain on behalf of the people. That said,
Just add for me there what is considered the lineup of public officers in the context of permanent contract. What different categories are
right? So the reason why I'm saying that, if you were dealing back then in the slavery days, you're called public servant because you didn't have nobody there to bargain or to look after your thing. You just had to just do what the slave master said. Now you have the union. So I'll go away with the word public servant and say public officers. Once you bring in the union there, I don't like to use the word servant because you have somebody there to look after your interests and you are public officers. But you're still there to serve the state. The reason why I'm saying the state is the form of government that we have. People don't understand that we hold an election where the whole country partake and the whole country elect a government of the day. And that government carry out the policies, and we public officers are there as much as possible. Whether you like the government, you like the prime minister or not, you are there. Once you join the public service, you are there to carry out the mandate and the policies of that particular government.
Good, and that's important to understand because, sometimes people think I work based on the party that is elected, but as a public officer, you have a responsibility. And that category, the caption of public officers refers to those who are permanent within the service. It also speaks to contracted officers.
Yes, anybody that is employed by the state.
Daily rated
everybody
workers.
that is employed by the state.
So all persons that fall within the ambit of the state.
But it's just that they are monthly paid, daily paid, contract, short terms and so on. Everybody's contract is public officers which responsible to carry out responsible of the state.
And that is the combination of either you are employed by the THA or you are employed by central government but operating within the Tobago space. So just to give that broad understanding. So therefore it means that the Prime Minister ultimately, as we are very much aware, is speaking to a very wide cross-section of Trinidad and Tobago in trying to move the vaccination numbers up. So I return to my original question. What was your first reaction, your immediate reaction?
Trouble. Look, trouble. You see, the reason why, because it's government and the union, and this government have a bad running with the various unions. If you start back from Petro-Trin and TSTT and so forth, and they were of the union thing and that they were not treated fairly, especially where the Petro-Trin workers. So I think now that the union is seizing this opportunity to get back at the government of the day in a specific way.
So is it concerning that not only are we seeing reactions coming from the Nurses Association, we're seeing it coming from the police, we're seeing it coming from fire, and the list goes on in terms of a number of trade unions responding. Ultimately, they have even planned what it should be protest action that takes place tomorrow, to give a clear indication to the Prime Minister that they are not in support of the way in which this matter should have been approached. What would you have advised, or what do you think from the standpoint of the union might have been a more reasonable approach? Is it that they're demanding they should have been included within the discussions early enough also? Give us your take.
Yes, definitely. Because I think it was in about June, July, September, the Minister of Labour would have indicated to the country that he's supposed to bring legislation as far as where COVID is concerned in the workplace. And that I don't know what become of that, because he's saying he was supposed to carry to cabinet his proposal about this COVID and how he intend to deal with COVID in the workplace. And the country is still waiting on that, on what really come out of when they reach the cabinet. But Julia, let me tell you something. Further to this, you have to remember that in the last budget, the finance minister indicated that from January, they will start new negotiation with salary negotiator. Put that in the mix. You see, Julian, this thing is larger than, from a union standpoint, than just the vaccine. This includes negotiation for salary increases and so forth. So it's a wider prospect that the union is coming with. So what the union is saying is that if the government intends to move with this vaccination without consultation what will happen as far as the negotiation with salaries and
so the question would be for you, Barry, as we wind down with this interview, what options do public servants have and public officers available to them come mid-January if they do not choose to take this vaccine? Are they required to just go home and say thank you for all the years of service that I've put in, or can they legitimately put up a response or a fight, etc.? What options are available to public officers who still have concerns?
As at the beginning of this interview, I said I was 37 years in the public service, and it will be very irresponsible of me to put forward the option that the public service, which is many. But I will tell you, Julia, this matter is not about the unvaccinated. This matter it concerns the vax also. As I said, take into consideration where the union figure that this government is anti-union, and they have intention of mashing up or disintegrating the union movement. So this is not about unvaxxed people protesting or whatever. Vax people will be protesting because to save the union, because the union, as I said, the union is a very integral part of the government structure. But
what do you say to those that give the response, Barry, that ultimately the Prime Minister and the government had no other choice? They have given people reasonable time. We have seen the world over where they are indicating that vaccination is the way to go in an effort to fight with, and to be able to really have a fighting chance against this pandemic. We are seeing an increase in deaths. We are seeing an increase in some of the days as they go by with regards to new cases and so on. What do you then say to the fact that the government has probably come to a point where they feel like they have no other option but to make it mandatory in sectors? It started with regards to some private sector entities in order for them to reopen, and then reasonably so one would expect it's only a matter of time before it got to the point of the public sector. What do you say from that perspective where the government didn't have a choice?
No, they have a choice in, I always believe in consultation. Right? I always believe in consultation. And when you're going through a pandemic, I think that you should have all stakeholders, not only the unions. I think that the government should have involved the opposition in this thing, because remember, the opposition is part of the government of Trinidad and Tobago. People have elected the opposition, people have voted for them, and I think consultation would have gone and put forward a proposal, hear what the union said, and if there is no consensus, then I think the government would have. But I think this matter will be heading to the industrial court.
All right. So, folks, you're hearing it there this morning, giving us a sense, and we have with us on set in this segment Barry Nelson, political activist, and giving her his perspective on mandatory vaccination for the public service. Thank you very much for joining with us this morning, Barry. And at this point, we prepare to go to a break, and coming up following that, we will have Ria George on with the Honorable Chief Secretary, Farley Augustine, giving us a sense of, or responding rather, to the 211 staff salaries matter, and that will be salaries to be paid for Christmas. From what I understand, the Chief Secretary is definitely indicating, have no fear, have no fear. So you'll get the updates coming in the next segment, folks. We want to thank you for the continued love and support. You are viewing Tobago Updates morning show. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
To all Tobagonians and visitors of this beautiful island, the Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is seeking your efforts and support in keeping a clean and organized, friendly environment. In doing so, drop-off bins are located at strategic areas around Tobago for your recyclable materials such as plastics, aluminum and steel cans, glass bottles and Tetra packs in bags, and let's protect our environment. Our own Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is here to propel that change. Look for the white bin nearest to your area.
The Grinch has gone greener. In TNT, we love to lime and laugh a lot, but our waste hurts the earth, and that has got to stop. Good thing for those going greener, stepping up to save the day. Everyday heroes in their own way. You too can show you care. Recycle aluminum, plastic, glass, and Tetra Packs with iCare. Gather up the empties, take them to your nearest iCare spot. They're all across the country. Check iCare TT and let's clean up. Help clear our drains and landfills. Stop the flood. So simple to do good. Recycle now with iCare. Let's all do our part. Show Sweet TNT we love you with all of our heart. Visit iCare TT for more info.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, today I could have been lying in this casket dead. I have lost so many friends. It is unbelievable. They stood right in front of me saying, Ian, I am not going to take that vaccine. You shouldn't take it. But today, they all passed away. They all died and gone. You want to be there for your family? Take the vaccine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ian Allen. It's not a ledge, it's a fact. I am alive. Please don't hesitate. Vaccinate. That could have been me going there, but I'm alive. As you can see.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
The Grinch has gone greener. In TNT, we love to lime and laugh a lot, but our waste hurts the earth, and that has got to stop. Good thing for those going greener, stepping up to save the day. Everyday heroes in their own way. You too can show you care. Recycle aluminum, plastic, glass, and Tetra Paks with iCare. Gather up the empties. Take them to your nearest iCare spot. They're all across the country. Check iCare TT and let's clean up. Help clear our drains and landfills. Stop the flood. So simple to do good. Recycle now with iCare. Let's all do our part. Show Sweet TNT we love you with all of our heart. Visit iCare TT for more info.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Morning viewers, it's 7:28 a.m. This is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Viewers, in this segment, yes, I know I told you Rhea before, but it's going to be Rhea and Julian. In this segment, we are chatting with the Honorable Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, Chief Secretary of Tobago, coming here to give us some updates and to give us some information specific to the current situation at hand. And you know, I like the fact particularly that Chief Secretary Farley Augustine promised us that no matter the circumstance, no matter the situation, so we're catching him even in the barber shop. Good morning to you, sir. We love your commitment and dedication to the people of Tobago.
Yes, good morning. You know, so sorry that I had to be trying to get a haircut, doing the interview at the same time.
That's but fine, man.
It's very unconventional, but I think if we're fair here, the PDP has never
been conventional.
They've never been a conventional party, so it's all in keeping with them.
That's true.
Just before we go into the interview, who's that barber by chance?
Oh, well, this is my barber. This is across here in Susseland's Classic Cuts. The best on the island. So I must put in a plug for my boy.
I'm sure Tobago is happy to know that because...
Julian.
Yes.
Come by Classic Cuts in Susseland. You'll be treated nicely.
Excellent.
We are sitting today. I also have to record my Christmas Day message today. And of course, tomorrow I have been able to secure my first meeting with the Ministry of Finance tomorrow as well. So, you know, I'm just trying to get everything in place for that.
Excellent. So this morning, Chief Secretary, we want to get a sense specifically. There are some concerns from workers at 211. You know, there was some discussions via social media yesterday regarding the fact that salaries would not be paid. The entire board has resigned. There's no signatory. There's no CEO, etc. What can you say to give some level of comfort and to assure those staff up there at 211 that all will be well?
Right, so there's no need to be worried at all. In fact, it was brought to my attention. I sat in a meeting yesterday with my administrator at Finance. We also sought legal advice on the matter, and by the end of today, everything will be in place for the workers are too on one to get their salaries. In fact, their salaries might be getting to the bank sometime between today and tomorrow. So even before Christmas Eve, they will have their salaries on their account. So there's no need to worry. That is being sorted out. And it's not necessarily an issue per se, because remember, if the board resigns, one of two things can happen legally. Legally, we can write and ask specifically the signatories on the board. In this case, it will be the chair of the board, Mr. McFarlane, to hold on until such time as a new board is appointed. So that's one legal option, which is the one we will most likely use. And then there's a second option, which is we simply use the administrator of the division and give the necessary covering note from Executive Council for the administrator of the division to pay the workers. But so it's not an issue whatsoever. I understand why folks will be antsy, because this is Christmas and everybody wants to ensure that the toys are in the house and the groceries in the pantry, and that everyone is ready for the holiday weekend. So we will ensure that that happens.
And as it relates, Chief Secretary Fally Augustine, as it relates to the ex gratia payments for THA employees, what do you have to say on that issue?
Oh, sure. Well, I should get a report later today from my division, because what I did is that I asked management accountants and others in finance to look into the matter, to look into what is possible. Because I did explain to the island, notwithstanding I'm hearing a lot of noises and untruths being told. I see people have not learned from the last election campaign, but I did explain what happened to our savings. In that one, as of yesterday when I checked, our unspent balances was just above $50 million. As of yesterday, when we checked the account, our consolidated fund was just over $300,000, and that's a fund that is usually in the multiple of millions. When I checked as of yesterday again, because I checked to ensure that I'm not going crazy, the entire $163 million we got for bond financing, that was all completed, meaning all spent out. And more or less the subvention for the first quarter of the fiscal year 2022, which this first quarter ends in December, that is practically finished as well. And so when I explained that to the public, it was to say that we have to dig some more, look and see where we can pull from if there is to be an ex gratia payment. Now, one of the public servants in finance said to me, she said, Chief, the ex gratia payment is one thing, but if you could find the money and pay our gratuities, that would be even better than the ex gratia payment. And so we are looking at where we can find those monies, ensure that people have a good Christmas. The first priority is ensuring that everyone gets paid. That's the first priority. And the second priority will be, of course, that we try to cover what we owe people in terms of their gratuities. So by the end of the day, I will be able to say definitively, more or less, what will be possible insofar as ex gratia payments. And what is interesting is that I have seen other regional governments try to put measures in place to give people a good Christmas. Barbados on the 22nd is having a tax-free day, meaning no VAT for the entire day. Imagine that. The entire island of Barbados for shopping for an entire day is VAT-free, and they give that VAT-free holiday so that people will enjoy the Christmas. We have put absolutely nothing in place as a country, to give people something extra, especially at a time when people have struggled financially, when there has been significant reduction in income, when there has been, as I see where several have lost their jobs. One would think that at the national level, we will be trying to put some things in place, not just the THA trying to find monies to give an ex gratia payment before Christmas or before the end of the year, but that at a national level, we could have done something nice for citizens. But clearly, that is not in the mandate of the national government.
Chief Secretary Fali Augustine, it's a good time to also make mention of the fact that even in St. Kitts, I think it is, public officers by the Prime Minister gave a commitment of double salaries. Should all go well in our Tobago space for 2022? Can we look forward to something courtesy?
Well, one of St. Kitts and Nevis is actually doing this for about the 4th consecutive year, where at Christmas time they double the salaries of their workers. And that's why during the campaign, when the idea was being rubbished, I keep saying to people, but this is nothing new, this is not novel. Other countries do this for their citizens. And then when I heard the previous chief secretary say, well, how are we going to afford it? It will cost us about $20 million. What I did not realize that he was trying to say is that, look, they were busy wasting out the money, spending out the money on vanity projects, on projects that were not part of the priority list, paying friends and family big sums of money. And I kid you not, the time will come when I will release the list of contractors who were paid handsomely from that $163 million bond financing. And when I will release the evidence that shows that some untruths were told to the Minister of Finance with regards to the bond financing and what we were going to use the monies for. So when the previous chief secretary said, look, we can't afford that $20 million to do it, I did not realize at the time he was trying to motion to the public, look, we're wasting out the money. And so by the time Fali and them fellas get into office, there wouldn't be enough. They'll have to struggle to find the money to give an ex gratia payment. And that is exactly what has happened. And let me make this plug quickly, because I heard the comments from the previous Secretary of Finance trying to say, well, look, we expect what, $1.7 billion to come still from the central government. You know what that argument is saying? The argument is saying, look, we spent out all of THA's savings, we spent out all of the extra monies we have, but don't worry, some money will come from Trinidad during the fiscal year. But guess what? The monies that are coming from Trinidad during the fiscal year, the vast majority of that is for recurrent expenditure. Very little for development spending. And when we also look at the reality that the 18 million that was given for URP, that 18 million given for URP, that has been completely spent, and we have to find money from savings wherever there is to pay URP and CPF workers for the rest of the fiscal year. And the 15 million unspent balances is not enough to pay them for the rest of the fiscal year. One has to appreciate the need to have a healthy savings to augment not just what we do in the current expenditure in terms of URP and CPEP, but for development expenditure. Every fiscal year we complain that we don't get enough money for development expenditure. Yet you're just wasting all these savings, and you waste it away in 6 months. You spent $163 million in 6 months, in less than a year, between May and September. In fact, most of it was spent between August and September in the space of 2 months. That cannot be what prudent restraint, which is what we were promised, given that we are at 6.6. And you have to remember that too. We have no THA, no Public Accounts Committee, no means of scrutinizing these expenditures within the confines of the Assembly Legislature. Yet they were just spending like the mad up and down the place. But Tobagonians saw it and saw it for what it was, and saw all the pavings that were happening, and some of the work wasn't even good quality work. Yet we don't pay off contractors already for work that we did not even send quantity surveyors or engineers or clerks of work to go and ensure that we had quality for what we spent the monies on. But as I indicated to the public, this is not about crying over spilled milk. is about showing the public clearly where we at, what we have inherited in terms of our savings, and the kind of work that we need to do. And I'm confident that you must be confident you have the right government for this kind of situation. We will build back, we will get creative, and we will build out an economy that is much more robust and much more sustainable.
All right. So, Ria, it's safe to say this is Tobago Update's morning show. Chief Secretary coming to you even from the barbershop to update Tobago and to make it clear there is no need to worry, particularly for our 211 workers that had their concerns at hand. Thank you very much, Chief Secretary Fali.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day, and of course, Merry Christmas when it comes. Please, let me remind you, please be safe. And let me just make this quick plug. At this moment, Dr. B. Israel and the team, they are preparing to bring in a temporary cold storage unit to store dead bodies because our morgue is full, because we have to try to squeeze 2 and 3 in a drawer. And if you are fat dead, then you alone have to fit in a morgue. And let me talk about it quite crassly. Tobagonians are accustomed to a very sacred way of treating our dead. We know what it is to celebrate life even when somebody dies. And what we are finding happening is that we're having people dying from COVID-related deaths, and then the rest of the family members, they're in quarantine, and then they want to keep the dead until they're out of quarantine to bury the dead, but then they can't get to see their dead, they can't get to perform traditional rites and rituals. You know, we love to look at the dead, we love to celebrate the life of the dead and so on. And you are not getting to do that. Why? Because people still zesting, because people still being reckless. And let me say this, even if you are vaccinated, it's not an excuse to go reckless, it's not an excuse to find yourself in parties at villas down in plantations or elsewhere and just behave recklessly. I am begging of you, you need to be safe. I am begging of you, please wear your mask, protect yourself, keep your social distance, and ensure that you position yourself in a manner that you will keep yourself and your family and your loved ones safe. Please, we are running out of space at the morgue, and that is a sign of the crisis that we are in, and the fact that you need to be safe. Please be safe, I beg you. This is a holiday period. Don't throw caution to the wind. Don't go about destroying your health away. And I'm begging those with other illnesses, diabetes, hypertension, heart-related sicknesses, cancers, you more than anybody else have to protect your health. Please do so and enjoy the holiday. Have a happy holiday, everybody.
All right. Ria, that's Chief Secretary coming there with a clear message. And he's coming live from Classic Cuts by Aquilon in Susulans.
I tell you, I guess that's the barbershop to check out. All right. But indeed, thank you so much, Chief Fali, for the admonishing and...
And I'm certain that that brings a great degree of comfort, especially to the 211 staff, because then I saw that situation on social media where they were very concerned, you know, and it's good to know that immediately between the Secretary with responsibility for education, that's Zarisha Hackett, because, you know, of course, that entity falls under the education and bringing in and connecting immediately with the Chief Secretary, Fali Augustine, to ensure that there is a solution so that persons don't have to worry in this Christmas season.
That's right. Well, Julian, at this time we go over to, I love how you say it.
Yes, we have this day in Tobago history with Devon Adana.
This day in Tobago history. Did you know that on December 21st, 1990, Tobago's newest hotel won Best in Class with Uncommon Luxury and Hospitality? According to Tobago News newspaper, 31 years ago today, the headline read, Grafton, the best resort worldwide for the year 90. The Grafton Beach Resort was a little under 1 year in full operation when they received this prestigious award from Thompson Travel International, even though they had been founded in 1988. There was a ceremony held at the then Young Hotel to mark the award. Present was the THA Secretary for Tourism, who was Mr. Claude Benoit. He stated that the award was an occasion for all of Tobago to be proud. Also on hand to congratulate the newest Tobago Hotel was the then president of the Trinidad and Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association, Mr. Alan Clovis. Mr. Clovis said that the Grafton had succeeded in providing top-class service that captured Tobago's spirit of welcome. Rounding out the esteemed guest list was Mr. Suraj Ramachan, then Tourism Minister in the NAR administration. He described Grafton's achievement as a story of excellence because it was the first major award of its kind for any one of the local hotels. The minister continued praising the hotel's owner, Mr. Ishwar Galvaran Singh, for putting creativity into action and making Grafton Tobago's most valuable asset. You've been watching This Day in Tobago History. My name is Devon Adana. Back to you guys in studio.
Devon, I missed the first part. I wasn't getting clear audio. How many years ago was this?
31 years ago, 1990, today.
Wow. Very interesting in terms of moving our tourism sector in a particular direction.
Very true. It really was the first of many awards that we would win, later, different hotels or even our tourism division, or at least, our tourism marketing would win awards and, so forth. So really kind of laying the groundwork there, Grafton leading the way in terms of us seeing Tobago getting this international recognition, from different bodies abroad for our tourism product.
And I feel like quite naturally now we're at a pivotal point in our Tobago history where we're required to reposition, especially knowing the realities of the pandemic at this time in 2021 going into 2022.
Exactly. And I'd love to see us do some unique things in this space, especially given our history of that type of achievement.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure chatting with you, Devon Adana. I love the way Julian says that name. Okay, but we're going over to a break. So we encourage you to share the live. Lots more coming up.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
The Grinch has gone greener. In TNT, we love to lime and laugh a lot, but our waste hurts the earth, and that has got to stop. Good thing for those going greener, stepping up to save the day. Everyday heroes in their own way. You too can show you care. Recycle aluminum, plastic, glass, and Tetra Paks with iCare. Gather up the empties. Take them to your nearest iCare spot. They're all across the country. Check iCare TT and let's clean up. Help clear our drains and landfills. Stop the flood. So simple to do good. Recycle now with iCare. Let's all do our part. Show Sweet TNT we love you with all of our heart. Visit iCare TT for more info.
Good morning. Put a smile on your...
The Grinch has gone greener. In TNT, we love to lime and laugh a lot, but our waste hurts the earth, and that has got to stop. Good thing for those going greener, stepping up to save the day. Everyday heroes in their own way. You too can show you care. Recycle aluminum, plastic, glass, and Tetra Paks with iCare. Gather up the empties. Take them to your nearest iCare spot. They're all across the country. Check iCare TT and let's clean up. Help clear our drains and landfills. Stop the flood. So simple to do good. Recycle now with iCare. Let's all do our part. Show Sweet TNT we love you with all of our heart. Visit iCare TT for more info.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Talk, watch, and listen to win big this Christmas with a Digicel Prime Bundle. The more you watch, hear, and dance to your favorite Digicel apps, the more chances you have to win thousands of shake-to-win prizes. Enter to win grand prizes of $100,000, home appliances, and groceries valued at $50,000 or free Digicel services for a year. Visit My Digicel or dial *323# to buy a Prime Bundle today. And talk, watch, listen to win big with Digicel. Better together this Christmas.
To all Tobagonians and visitors of this beautiful island, the Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is seeking your efforts and support in keeping a clean and organized, friendly environment. In doing so, drop-off bins are located at strategic areas around Tobago for your recyclable materials such as plastics, aluminum and steel cans, glass bottles and Tetra packs in bags, and let's protect our environment. Our own Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is here to propel that change. Look for the white bin nearest to your area.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Morning, Tobago. I am Candace Jackson and I am coming to you live from the Waterholics shop in the Pigeon Point Heritage Park. And joining me today on Tobago Updates is Mr. Alex Ned, who is the owner of Waterholics. Good morning, Mr. Ned.
Morning. How you doing, man? Good pleasure to have you, man.
It's great to have you on this morning. And of course, folks, while we're talking, beaches have been reopened. They reopened yesterday from 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. And of course, one of the things that people have been looking forward to is to getting back on the tours and so on. I mean, Mr. Ned, if you know Mr. Ned with Waterholics, he offers all the wonderful jet skis and the jets and all those things. He offers a wide range of water activities. However, how has things been going since, the beaches reopened yesterday? Have you been able to, get back into business?
Well, what I could say, it was a surprise to a lot of people of the announcement of the opening to the beaches. Everybody been patiently waiting, and it's a good thing. We, as stakeholders in the industry, I'm sure began to receive phone calls from glass bottom boat, other tour operators. Travel agencies already contacted us, but I had a booking that was supposed to be for Monday, and by reaching out to stakeholder, you said, but we're not allowed to do tours.
What? Why not?
For me, it's like, it's an industry. We've been closed for like 8 months. Last time the beaches were actually open. Let's say 2 years. And I try to find out who's having these conversations? Who they having these conversations with? Because the reality is, you know what? Safe zone is a thing now, and why the conversation couldn't be like, you know, well, Tobago, your tourism activities, what can we safe zone, you know? Because the beaches could have been closed, but the product could have still be revolving in a certain way. So, you know, we have the glass bottom boats could have been safe zone, you have dye shops could have been safe zone, you know, etc. Because there are people still coming to Tobago. There are people who are trying to book, but they say, you know what, I'm not going to book if I can't do any beach activity. So I think we have to try to be a little bit more proactive. You know, we have to be a little more prudent with our decision making, because we need to have the product moving. And the reality is, we know we're not going to get the flow of clientele or the money we would like to make at the time. But you know what? Moving, you know, it'll create employment. You know, you'll see the arts and craftsman come out on the corner, the Bennett Ball man, and the sweetness of the product, it trickles down. But when there's still a halt, you know, we're so thankful beachgoers could go out to do it for the exercise, etc. But what about a product that needs finance? You know, imagine yourself not receiving a salary. The last paycheck I got was like 8 months ago. And before that, there was a lot of stalling. So their business right now are officially shut down, on the verge of being shut down. And you'll be surprised with that 7-hour window. What we could do in 7 hours, it could have been 4 hours. People would have created some form of business within that time span.
And of course, with the proper social distancing and public health protocols in place.
Simple and easy. If bars could do it, if restaurants could do it, if Five Islands Park down at Shagaramas could do it, during COVID, the pandemic, they were able to function. What about somebody like myself, which is not as much gathering? As I said, I always like to stress on the glass bottom boat tour. It is one of the most popular tours on the island. And you know, I'm sure they would have been willing to work with anything where it's a safe zone in. And you know, the amount of people. And you know what? If I break the rules, licks it them a hard fine. And this is, it comes back to who's having these conversations. You know, it goes back to when they said, you could have gone to the Book Reef, but you can't swim. So you invited me to the party, but don't whine, you know. You know what I mean?
And tell me a little bit about what this continued closure, what effect is it having on your assets?
Well, again, you know, wear and tear, it's down. And I'm sure there's a lot of businesses to restart is a cost from no money was coming in. Servicing the equipment, running the equipment, you know, and I speak on behalf on all stakeholders when they literally shut down the maintenance. And to actually get back running again is a cost. So you find a lot of people stalling on the maintenance. They don't want to spend that expense twice, 3 times, 4 times, just awaiting. You know, there are people literally sit behind the television on, looking forward to when the Prime Minister makes his announcement to plan, you know, and we saw about proactive planning. We like to know what decisions could be made, how to plan ourselves.
If there is any special message that you want the authorities to know right now about this whole situation, what is it?
The message, we're tired. We need a movement. We need voices to be heard. We need, if conversations or decisions being made, to have the right people in the right associations and stuff to be a part of those decision making. So when the decisions being made, it could help anyone. And we're at a point where we are a little tired of sitting back and hearing decisions being made, and we question, but how could they come with this decision? And it's a phone call, it's an email, it's a Zoom meeting for 10 minutes, just breaking down the pros and cons of the situations and how we could have a ruling product, you know, just a voice to be heard for every stakeholder and everybody who plays a major part in the tourism product. Just a voice to be heard.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Ned, for sharing your concerns with us. And folks, that's just it from me. But I mean, remember, the beaches are open. You can go and enjoy. But hopefully we can be able to get the tours back on stream so that the tourism sector, the tourism-based businesses can be able to make some bit of an income again as we go forward. But for now, I'm handing it back over to Ria and Julian. So back to you in studio.
Very much there, Candice, giving us a sense of what's happening. I'm sure a lot of you were not aware of this challenge circumstances. You heard beaches open and you just thought to yourself, yes, we are back out. You know, just before we go, because we continue to follow the live and it's very critical that we keep up to date. You know, and Rhea, I just wanted to bring some clarity quickly.
Yes.
I see some concerns being raised about masking while in the barber shop by a young lady. As a gentleman that cuts at that barber shop, I want to assure you that the barber is always masked at classic cuts in terms of being able to do the exercise. And think of us being in studio here. We are unmasked while we are hosting, right. But those who are behind the camera are masked in the circumstances. So we want to remind persons, yes, we continue to comply and to make every possible effort. What's most important is that most of Tobago are thankful that they were able to get the immediate information, especially those who were looking forward to some kind of relief at 211 and to get some clarity in terms of what's happening out there. All right, so we want to focus on the message as well and to say to persons, have no fear under this circumstances. And yes, as the Chief Secretary endorsed and reminded all of us, let's continue to be responsible and to do our part even in this festive season. Rhea, what do we have up next? I'm told we are getting a taste of something in the next segment.
Definitely, and I am privileged this morning to introduce on our program, the Tobago Updates Morning Show, Rihanna Guy, who is the owner of Sweet Thang. Now, you've got to say it with some attitude. It's not sweet T-H-I-N-G, it's T-H-A-N-G-G. So you gotta say Sweet Thang. So, good morning and welcome to you, Rihanna.
Good morning, Tobago.
I feel like I want to hear Rihanna tell us the name of this business.
Did I do justice? How do you say it?
Yes, she did justice. It's actually Sweet Thang.
So Sweet Thang.
There's, as she said, there's a lot of attitude to the name.
That's right.
All right.
You change I change my accent when I say it, you know. All right.
I'm sure those viewing us via TV as well as the live are having a fun time with Rhea this morning. It's Rihanna, right?
Yeah, Rihanna.
Rihanna. So Rihanna, tell us a little bit about this business idea, Sweet Things. When did it, when did you conceptualize it and so on?
Okay. So Sweet Thing actually came about during the pandemic.
It rolls so naturally off of your tongue.
Yeah, Sweet Thing.
Continue.
Yes. it came about in the height of the pandemic, in 2020. I've always had a knack for cooking and being in the kitchen, and I really especially love baking. So it was last year, 2020, I was in my room and I just was thinking, how are ways that I could improve my income or increase my income, and so I'm just there thinking, okay, what are some things that I love to do? And well, obviously cooking, baking came to me because that's a natural talent that I have. And I remember just brushing off the thought, and a couple of days after I was just in bed again, and the name came to me, Sweet Thing. And before I could have even thought about what this business would have been about, the name just came, and I saw the spelling and all with the 2 G's. So that what brought along the thing,
That's right.
So I was like, Sweet Thing, I love that name. And I messaged it to someone just for a notice or a reminder to come back to it. And from there, I just put the thought into action. I was really nervous to start because, there's always the fear of whether people will accept your product, people will love your product, something to eat, Tobagonians can be very critical with your products. Oh, this thing that tastes good, but obviously I did my samples to my close relatives and my friends, and, they loved it, and I just took it from there.
All right. Yeah. Now, what a sweet thing, what are you known for particularly?
Known for particularly is my cheesecakes. Yes, I started off with buns as well, Cinnabuns, but right now I'm just focusing on my cheesecakes.
What makes a cheesecake so special?
Well, it's a very delectable dessert. It's a creamy milk base. It's very rich.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm a cheesecake fan, and I think Julian, are you? Because he has a very unique palate. Okay. So the things that, take for example, viewers, on display we've got some really gorgeous looking, and we will taste in a little while, chocolate covered cakes. Now I thought, maybe she should bring it closer to me, and Julian agreed because apparently he is not a chocolate lover. Who's not a chocolate lover? Julian, how could you not be a chocolate lover? So she's going to display it for us. Okay, yeah.
It's a good time to tell us what do we have on set
Definitely.
here.
So I did some salted caramel with a cookie crumble, and we have the traditional.
If you can just lean it just
Yes.
slightly. Oh, yes.
So we have the strawberry cheesecake, cupcakes. These are all cupcakes. You know, there's a traditional. And over here we have the 3-layered chocolate cheesecake. And we also have our legendary Oreo cheesecake.
And these look absolutely sinfully delicious. And Julian said, you know, send it over to Ria. And I welcomed it. I embraced them. Yeah. All right. So how have the sales for this been going for the Christmas holidays? I mean, is it something that persons are gravitating to?
Yes, definitely right. When I mentioned one of the flavors and notes, I said the legendary Oreo because Oreo was the first flavor that I started with initially, and that has always been a hit. Like I remember the first time I dropped the Oreo slice cheesecake, that sold out before the actual cheesecake was even made, because I take orders, you know, pre-orders to help boost the sales and help things go faster. And Oreo has always been the best seller. So, but I believe that all the cheesecakes are really exceptional. It all comes down to preference and what you like. So some people will love chocolate, some people will hate chocolate like
Julian.
So that's why I brought the strawberry, because I know everybody's palate is different. So.
And I see Tanessa joining me on the live day. Yes, Tanessa, I'll have some strawberry cheesecake just for you. She's not a chocolate fan either, but I like the fact that you're able to cater in terms of a wide variety. And you know, something I'm always impressed with, you're so well put together, on point and so on, but yet you get yourself in the kitchen. Tell us about that experience. Transitioning into the kitchen and then back.
Yes. Well, I love to look good. I love to, I believe that people taste with their eyes. And you know, as a seller, as somebody that has a product, especially to eat, you have to look a certain way, you know, because people gravitate to persons that look clean, that keep themselves well kept. So I just love to look good and have good presentation. You know?
I think it's in her bloodline, her mother, her aunt. Yes. Yeah, you know, they
because
always
you are correct. It's really important for persons to understand that in the industry, you must represent your brand. Yeah. Because before I even see what comes out of that bag, I'm seeing you.
That's
and
right.
if you're looking some type of way,
I'm
starting to question even before, even before I get to the meal. What kind of pricing do packages like these go at for persons who may be interested? And can persons still contact you with orders at this time?
Yes, definitely. So I have I actually have my Christmas slices available on my page. They would be available from the 22nd, I believe. So I have 3 new flavors, which would be the s'mores. There's a cappuccino and caramel, and there's also a red velvet. Pricing as for these, the slices are right now $35 per slice. I have slices available every week, most times. And wholesale, I do whole cheesecake starting at $3.75.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. And how can persons contact you?
Well, you can contact me via WhatsApp 493-3155 or my business page on Instagram, Sweet Thing with 2 G's.
Sweet Thing. That's right. You gotta say it with some attitude. Yeah. So viewers, we want to thank you this morning for joining us on the Sweet Things. All right. So, I'm gonna leave it there.
Thank you so much for the love and support, folks. Only at Tobago Updates morning show. You know we have a good time while you are sipping on that tea at home. Some of you on your way to work. Some of you in work already, for that matter. We really want to thank you so much for the continued love and support here with Tobago Updates and for joining us, Ria. Morning after morning, you never know what to expect here.
That's right. And Julian, the live seems to be pretty hot at this time with regards to the issue of the chief not having worn a mask during the interview. Let me just
I think it's only one individual.
But it seems to be a lot of back and forth. Now, viewers, when you are doing an interview, it is very difficult to speak with the mask on. Thus, we socially distance and we speak. The barber a while ago was wearing his mask, which is what Julian was referring to a little while ago. So if the chief was not wearing one, it's okay. It's okay. It was for a few moments. He was shaving. In fact, hair was falling. I don't think he would have appreciated, or anyone would appreciate, hairs falling onto your mask or onto your face and you inhaling it. So there's a time and a place for everything. So I just wanted to put it out there. So have a great day, Tobago. We really want to thank you for joining us this morning on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Have a great time. We want to remind you here to wear your mask, to sanitize, and to let's show it here. Yeah, you gotta socially distance. All right. So this is how we do it.
All right, folks.
See you then.
Take care. Bye bye.
I don't wanna break no bones. I just want a microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving.